Hello, Las Vegas and listeners worldwide. Welcome to the first episode of Live Unleashed. My name is Kevin Lepine. I'm going to be your host on Tuesday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. here in Las Vegas time. We will be joined at the bottom of the hour on each episode by William Arendell, a therapist and very, very good friend of mine out of New Orleans. I just wanted to welcome everybody and thank you so much for joining me and give you a little bit of an idea about what we're going to be doing on Live Unleashed every week. A little bit about myself. I am the star and the performer of the show Hypnosis Unleashed at the Hooters Casino Hotel. We do the show 6 nights a week, and performing here in Vegas was always my dream. I am a certified hypnotherapist. I started doing hypnosis when I was 20, so I've been doing it for about 18 years now. My adventures started me in Detroit, where I grew up, and thankfully I have left behind the blistering cold for the warmth, the sunshine, and the happiness here of Las Vegas. I have often been known for making the comment that while I understand here in Vegas we have 116 degrees in the shade in the summer, I have never once shoveled sunshine out of my driveway, and that's a fair enough trade for me. I started performing in the Detroit area. I managed to get a 6-month offer down in New Orleans, and 6 months turned into about 5 years until Katrina sent me back to Detroit, and then I had an offer to come out here to Las Vegas. And I am so thankful for the entire Las Vegas community for taking me in. Here at Live Unleashed, really my goal, we're going to be talking with different people in the community, different people who've made their lives successful to the degree that they want to be living. When I say live unleashed, I want you to be living your life free from negativity, free from ideas that are holding you back. And we're going to talk a lot about what people have done to eliminate that negativity, what they've done to step up, and how they've reached their goals. A lot of times we're going to be talking about goals. My goal always was to have a show here in Las Vegas. I've been very, very fortunate. But in order to do that, I personally had to leave a lot of things behind. I had to leave behind the comfort zone of Detroit, which had always been very, very good to me and offered me many opportunities. I had to leave behind the comfort of going back to New Orleans, which also did the same for me. I also spent many, many years on the road, traveling with a lot of amazing people and a lot of amazing opportunities, and there were hard times in all of them. All of us reach points in our career and in our lives and just even in our day-to-day happenings and relationships where we start worrying and we start getting frustrated and we start feeling different chains holding us down. And we use those fears to keep us down instead of accomplishing different goals. Here at Live Unleashed, we're going to talk about different things that you can do, whether it's hypnotic techniques, meditation techniques, focus techniques, techniques that you can use in your day-to-day life. One thing we're going to be talking a lot about is what can you do or accomplish in 10 minutes a day that can help you improve your life. I know for me, one of the biggest things that I've ever done was to change my point of view and set 3 different goals for a major goal. Whereas I have always wanted to have my show here in Las Vegas, and I am extremely excited and happy to have it. I was able to win Best of Las Vegas for Best Hypnotist. We've been able to help many charities. We've been able to accomplish a lot doing what I've always loved. But it's really hard when you go, well, here's my final goal. So what we're going to talk a lot about as well at different times is how to set 3 goals in your life. What is your long-term goal? What do you really, really want to accomplish? What is your big dream? And then the second step is, what is halfway in between your big dream and where you are right now? Because sometimes when we're looking at a big dream, if you don't see that you have gotten closer to that dream, if you don't see that you have accomplished it and that you're gaining ground, you tend to slip away. And then the third step is, what can you accomplish in the short term? What can you do in the immediate future that will allow you to see step-by-step progress? Sometimes just seeing that step-by-step progress allows us to continue forward when we feel discouraged, because we all do. And when you feel that discouragement, you don't always know where to go, and that's how the dreams start to slip away. I've always believed that anybody can accomplish their dreams. I started off doing private parties in Detroit. My big goal was to be here in Vegas. My midterm goal was to have a touring show. And step by step in Detroit and then in New Orleans, it was growing it step by step from private shows to smaller functions for companies, and growing it and seeing my show grow on a show-by-show and individual and step-by-step basis, which we also all do in our careers too, because there are little steps that you can see today that you've accomplished, that you've learned, that you've stepped up from where you were even a month ago, to the point where I got the opportunity to have the touring production, and I got to spend time on the road, which also helped me grow and learn. Sometimes in order to learn, you have to leave your comfort zone. We don't always grow when we're in a situation where we feel stagnant or where we feel that we know everything. Some wonderful advice I was given is that you don't really learn much from getting first place, but you learn a lot as you're growing to get there. All the touring that I did led me to more and more options where I was doing bigger and bigger theaters, bigger comedy clubs. And I'll also at different times talk about even just different people who have influenced me. We're going to have those people on the show. Every week we're going to have different guests in here, local celebrities, national celebrities, and not even always celebrities in the respect of people that you might see on the movie screen or on your TV screen, but also people who had a dream, who had a desire, who had a goal, and what steps did they take to accomplish that goal. When I was on the road, there were different moments of frustration. Then I set other midterm goals in order to allow me to finally get where I was. And I had the opportunity to move here to Las Vegas, where I got to work with the gentleman who owned the show Hypnosis Unleashed. They took me in. They took me under their wing. They helped me grow. And Michael Johns, the producer, the owner of the show, really helped guide me to teach me what it takes to succeed here in Las Vegas. Because whereas I had performed everywhere else in the world, I had never performed in Vegas before, and that was a completely different experience and one that I was excited to grow into. Eventually, they gave me the opportunity to do their Thursday nights. Then I became filling on other nights until Terry Stokes retired from the show, and I was able to take his spot. And then Michael Johns retired from the show, and I was able to open the show at the Hooters Casino Hotel, where we do the show nightly. We do Tuesday through Sunday. It's an 8 p.m. show. It's a 21 and over show. And even when I use hypnosis for comedy, I'm also using it to instruct people and help people to kind of see what they can accomplish with their life. Because if you can dance around on stage like a rock star with no fear and no remorse and no worry, then really being able to stand up and assert yourself in different situations is a very easy thing to accomplish. Well, that was just me trying to introduce myself. My name is Kevin Lepine, and I'm so thrilled that you are joining me and allowing me into your radio. We're going to take a short break in just a moment. We're going to come back with a magician here in Vegas who's accomplished so much, a very, very good friend of mine, Bizzaro galore. We're going to talk a lot about him and how he's accomplished what he's done. We'll see you in just a couple of minutes. Hello, Las Vegas from Hypnosis Unleashed. All Las Vegas locals get half off every night at the show, Tuesday through Sunday, 8 p.m. Come and join us for Las Vegas's wildest hypnosis show. Watch your friends get turned into rock stars, watch them do the craziest things, or come and be hypnotized yourself. This show has won all the awards here in Las Vegas, and we want to show you why. Come join us every Tuesday through Sunday night. VegasHypnosisShow.com for more details. That's VegasHypnosisShow.com.
Monday Mayhem is back at Gene Woods Racing Experience Go-Kart Track. The stakes are higher than ever, and the winner takes all if you've got what it takes. The winner will get to race a real Thunder Roadster at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in an actual race. So be there every Monday. First race starts at 7. Come early to register. We are located at 121 East Sunset Road at the Sports Center, across from McCarran Airport. For more information, call us at 702-270-8100. That's 702-270-8100. You can visit us on Facebook, or you can go to our website at racingexperiencelv.com. Once you race here, you won't go anywhere else. Monday Mayhem is back.
Hi, this is the Commander, the host of Nights Over Las Vegas. Join me every Saturday from 7 o'clock p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific time and listen for the best music, plus the business icon, and interviews with local stars and the party zone. It's Nights Over Las Vegas with the Commander, Saturday night, 7 to 10, playing music everybody knows.
Hey, it's Roxy from the 702 Rock Show, right here at VegasAllNetRadio.com. Listen to my show every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. to hear about local artists, musicians, fashion designers, and more right here in Las Vegas. So tune in every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. to hear me, Michelle Roxy Davis, right here at VANR on the 702 Rock Show.
This is Kevin Lepine with Live Unleashed every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Come and join us for an hour of learning how to live your life unleashed, free from negativity. Learn about local events that are happening, hear interviews with local celebrities, as well as how people have accomplished their dreams and have left behind negative behavior to live the life they want to live. Every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m., join me and therapist William Arendell for an hour of Living Unleashed.
I'm Leanne Rhymes for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. To some, it's just not country music without hard drinking and fast driving. But real life's not a song. And in less time than it takes to play the latest country hit, someone will be killed or injured in an alcohol-related crash. So next time you're out with someone who's been drinking, don't let them take the wheel. Take the keys instead. That's why friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
The odds of having a boy who grows up loving baseball,
1 in 6,
which earns him a college scholarship,
1 in 2,500,
that gets him a contract in the minors,
1 in 3,700,
which leads to starting shortstop in the majors,
1 in 290,000.
The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism,
1 in 150. You know the odds. Now learn the signs. Go to autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, we are back on Live Unleashed. And unfortunately, Bizzaro is trapped in our wonderful little bit of Las Vegas traffic. He'll be joining us in just a few minutes. And I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things that are happening here in town that you can look into. Some stuff that's happening here in town. The new Brooklyn Bowl is open and happening. We've got a brand new concert venue here in town. If you haven't seen the ads, they're bringing in such bands as Fishbone. They've had Elvis Costello. The Roots are coming in from Jimmy Fallon to do shows. You got Gogo Bordello. So many other great national acts. I think that's one of the things that I've been most fortunate about. Between living in Detroit, New Orleans, and Las Vegas, I think I've been spoiled when it comes to music. I've been fortunate enough to catch some of the great ones, and I am so excited for some of the acts that are coming here in town, not to mention the acts that we have on the Strip every night. I think here in Vegas, sometimes we don't realize just how spoiled we are when you have some of the best country music playing over at the Venetian with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. You've got Toby Keithsborough over, of course, at Harrah's. For my own self, I love checking out the different Cirque shows. Been fortunate enough to see Michael Jackson 1, as well as Bizzaro, who will be here in just a minute, is also, and we'll be talking about this, is performing with Meatloaf's show. And he does 3 nights a week here in town, one of Rock's Legends. And, of course, if you talk about Rock's Legends, we have Raiding the Rock Vault over at the LVH, featuring just some of the greatest music here in town. I've also been fortunate enough to find that we have great sports teams between the Area 51 baseball and the Wranglers hockey. And if you have not caught a Wranglers hockey game, you are missing an amazing experience. I know they're looking forward to their new home for next season. We have a lot going on here in town. We have, of course, the show going on tonight over at Hooters. Come and join us with Hypnosis Unleashed. One thing that I wanted to do, I always said that when I had my own show, I wanted to be able to reach out to all the people who make our life safe and better, which is why all Las Vegas, all Nevada first responders and military get free tickets every night. So if you are police, firefighter, EMT, local military at the base, just show your ID. You've got 2 free tickets waiting for you. as well as all national fire, national police. We set up a special $12 ticket for everybody. Otherwise, all Nevadans get 2-for-1 tickets for the show because I love supporting the people who support me and have made it possible for me to be here. Now, we were talking earlier, I was mentioning goals, setting your short-term goal, your long-term goal, and your midterm goal. No matter what you're doing, if you want to be successful, you have to know where you're going to end up. You have to know what you want to achieve. For some people, that is financial. For some, it's spiritual. For some, it's personal. But there's always a goal you want to have, whether it is succeeding in business or your personal life, whether you want to achieve something at the gym or get that next raise. The question is, where can you really see yourself and visualize yourself? What do you really, really want? More dreams are lost by being vague. The more you can direct your life. If you want to live unleashed, if you want to have no chains holding you back, you have to know what you want to accomplish. Do you currently have a clear set goal? Do you know what you want to achieve and where you want to be? Sometimes even writing that goal out, putting it on your computer screen, making it a screensaver or even a computer background will help. But just by detailing that goal, you start to set up your first goals so that you know what you want to accomplish. Joining us now in the studio, we have somebody who set an amazing goal for himself, and I'm not trying to make a pun with that, but we have somebody who set a goal for himself to do the impossible, quite literally. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me in the studio is a fantastic, now when I say fantastic magician, I've always believed that there are people who do magic tricks, and then there are people who can just make magical things happen or come up with those ideas that turn imagination into reality. That's what I call a magician. That's what I call our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Bizzaro galore.
Thanks. Yes, my Facebook handle.
Yes, that is his Facebook handle. Feel free to add him on Facebook. He loves getting friend requests.
Oh, yeah, and I'll add you to the 500 I'm not paying attention to.
But, we're actually going to talk a little bit about that and why you don't pay attention to some of those and why you do. Now, you started in Texas.
Is this an intervention? What the hell?
Yeah, actually, it is. We wanted to tell you that card tricks are bad, and we're hoping that... No, actually...
I don't do a lot of card tricks.
I know, and that's why we're proud of you, actually. You've been able to do a lot.
It's just you.
Yep. Well, no. We've got Lawrence here. He's the one who makes the show run.
He has no idea. He has no idea. You could be lying to him. I may not even be a magician.
That is true. Yeah, he has an actual magic. Okay, next time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you videos so that you can actually prove that the guests are who they are.
Yeah.
So you started in Texas. Mm-hmm. Why'd you leave?
Why'd you leave Detroit?
I left Detroit because I couldn't achieve my dream of being a Vegas headliner in Detroit.
Well, okay, it wouldn't be. That's because there was no work there. There's no work in the Texas or Dallas area where I was, and all the venues I worked had dried up and gone away. So I was like, let's go where there's no magicians.
So you came to pretty much the magic capital of the world where there are no magicians.
Yeah, I like how you use quotation fingers for no magician.
Yeah, so
I knew there was nobody here doing what I was doing. So I knew, I wasn't going to blend in with a bunch of people. When I got here, I realized there's not a lot of, most of the people don't blend in.
And you've invented a lot of different magic. Currently out on the market, how many different products would you say you have currently selling?
I don't even want
to
know.
At
least 10.
Okay.
At least.
And now we're going to talk a little bit about the gig you're doing, but you've also gotten picked up to consult for different people. Mm-hmm. Are you allowed to talk about that, or is that
I'm allowed to talk about who, not
okay.
what. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I can't be like, hey, he's going to do this one day, maybe. I've consulted for a ton of people who are well known in the magic business, and then a couple of people who are known outside of the magic business, which is rare. One of them was David Copperfield. I did some work for him. And the other one is Jonathan Silver Scott, who's from Property Brothers, doing some work for him. So.
And Now, how did you get the ability to consult for these guys?
Other people recommended me because that's how Vegas works.
Well, but when people say David Copperfield, I mean, automatically
they think of the book. I know.
Okay, yes, exactly. We all think of Mark Twain. Yes, in this case, we're referring to The Illusion
Wait,
is
hold
Not
on.
the Waif.
I don't think Mark Twain wrote.
No,
David
you are right.
Copperfield.
Who
It was
did
Dickens, wasn't it?
Yeah, Charles Dickens. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Charles Deep Dickens, I believe.
Yes, not Samuel Clemens.
No,
I have no idea how I mixed those two.
Yeah, I was curious, and I've never even read that book. How do I know? How did I even know that? I've never. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
So, but people think Illusionist David Copperfield, all these TV specials, and arguably the most famous magician of our time.
Right.
So, a lot of people will have that immediate impression that it's impossible to even reach this guy. So how did you get to? Well,
again, like I said, it was somebody else recommending me. Somebody who a mutual friend of ours was like, hey, he needs some stuff for talk shows. Do you want to come in on this? And I went, yeah, sure, why not? It'll be fun.
Now you also do a lot with the local performing community.
Try to.
Well, for example, besides David Copperfield,
right.
Like you said, Jonathan Silver Scott, Property Brothers. It's a home flipping show basically, where they're taking.
I've never actually seen it, but yes.
They're renovating houses for people.
Right.
It's an amazing show.
Well, but he also has a couple of shows. He told me he's got like 3 shows that are very popular on HGTV, which again I don't read. I don't read those kinds of channels. I don't watch TV either. So I just kind of tend to keep to myself. But he again, that was somebody we had met at some parties because I mean you've
Yes.
met him through the same channels as I have, and then somebody. He's friends with another bunch of performers as magicians here in town, and he was like, I need somebody to create something and fix up props, and everybody just went, me, Bizzaro. And so he got a hold of me, and so every so often he comes to town and checks on my progress, and that's about it. Because right now I'm in the middle of fixing up some stage props, because he used to be a magician, and then he started making better money doing something other than magic, like everybody else does. Cough hypnosis, cough, and so because he's so busy being a big old star and stuff, he needs somebody to kind of work on the side and fix up props and make things, because he has the ideas, just not the time.
Now, you also landed the gig. You're performing 3 nights a week with Meatloaf.
Yes, and he doesn't mean I'm just standing on stage with a pan of food. He means the singer, who is still fairly popular.
Yes, he will still do anything for love.
Yeah, even for a Klondike bar.
But not that.
No. Yes, he has. He puts on a good show too, and it's too bad you can't see it.
Okay. So Bizzaro makes fun of me for this time after time
you
after time.
You make fun of yourself for it.
I am a Meatloaf fan. I am not going to not deny that. I'm not going to hide that. I have always loved the man's music. I've always wanted to see him live. I've never had the opportunity to, and now we perform 3 blocks from each other. But the only day I have off is Monday night, and it's the one day he won't perform.
Yeah, and he won't go dark for one day to see the show because, I don't want to lose money. Jeez.
Oh, when you're running your own show, if I go dark, that means my assistant's taking a night off, my sound guy's taking a night off, my box office guys have taken a night off. There's a lot of people who get very, very agitated with me for that.
Know. And especially if they find out why.
Yeah, exactly.
If they found out why you did it, they'd be like, what?
Well, it's not just if they found out that I took a night off to go and see Meatloaf.
That you didn't take them.
Exactly, yeah. If I don't take everybody, now I'm the bad guy.
And you get enough of that as it is.
So how did that gig come about?
Vegas is very much about who you know. Like the whole entertainment business is like that. It's who you know and word of mouth and everything like that. But here in Vegas, it's even worse, if you want to say worse, than most places. And a good example of how severe it is there's an alternative agency in Dallas I used to work with, and they book all over the United States. They book acts everywhere, and because they have a giant cluster of people from different places. However, he never books anybody in Vegas because everybody knows everybody out here. Everybody has a hookup. When somebody says, "Oh, we need this," somebody goes, "Oh, I got that." So that nobody ever calls an agency for Vegas, and if they do, it's very rare. So it was working. Let's see, it's kind of weird how it happened. It started with working at a gig at the Laugh Factory, which went to working at Sapphire Comedy, and then they saw that I could do Fire, And so when they put out a kind of a underground quiet audition call, because it didn't pop up on Craigslist, didn't pop up on VegasAuditions.com. It was a kind of like invite only, I guess, if you will, audition. So there's 4 of us who went in, and we auditioned, and I shot fire out of my zipper, and Meatloaf went awesome, and here I am.
Well, all right, so it is a lot about who you know. But one thing that I've always told people is you want to go out there, you want to network, you want to meet as many people as you can meet, but that doesn't mean you want to go around kissing people's butt and brown nosing.
No, that's
either.
not what I know, and that's not what I said.
No, it
Yeah.
isn't. But I think there's confusion about that sometimes. A lot of people don't understand that when you're looking to get that gig, when you're looking to get that job, odds are the person doing the hiring doesn't want a brown noser.
Oh, no.
They want somebody who is going to be friendly.
Some of them do that.
Yeah, some of them do.
Some of them require it, I think, in the contract.
You know, and the funny thing is I've met quite a few of those, but I've also learned that those people are never, ever going to get you the job you want.
Sure.
They're going to give you a job that may pacify your requirements at the moment, but because they're more interested in finding who's the next person who's going to stroke their ego.
Or worse, they're just looking for acts to chew through. Like there's a few venues here in town I've realized working with and working through or auditioning for or talking to other people is there's as a performer you see other people working at a gig that you're like, I could do that. Why am I not doing that? And you try to get that gig and you don't, or you realize you don't want to after dealing with those people. And it's a weird thing here in town. Like there's a venue who I won't mention because I don't know who's listening. But actually, screw it. Beacher's Madhouse. So
Okay.
these people, when you go in there, I know they're not advertisers.
Now they won't be either.
Not on AM radio. When you go in there, you're basically just another act. They're not hiring you. Well, they're hiring you because they want to use you. Basically, it's not because they like you or anything like that. It's generally because you're a piece of cattle, and if you don't work out of there or you don't want to be there, you're this another monkey right in line to replace you.
Well, one thing that I've told people is there's a big difference between a venue that will advertise a magician and a venue that's going to advertise Bizzaro.
Yeah.
And there's that difference between a gig where it's a plug-and-play gig, we need somebody to do these 3 minutes,
Right.
or we need this specific person. One thing that I've always told people is, in the performing world especially, I'm not in competition with other hypnotists. My goal is to set myself up as being so unique
Right.
that people want Kevin Lepine.
Right, and that's
not
what you
a
should
hypnotist.
do. And that's what I talk about in my creativity lectures I do for other performers and magicians is you need to have an identity because magician is not an identity, it's a job title. And it's a hypnotist, same thing.
Yes.
It's like hypnotist is not your identity, it is what you do. You need to have something that makes you unique to all the rest of the other idiot magician hypnotists out there.
And what is one thing that you would say that separates you from all the other ones?
Oh, well, it's a long list. Mainly, it's my look. It's the outfit. I somebody once, and as a wrestling fan, you'll appreciate this. Somebody in a Magic magazine once said that there's a reason wrestlers are more popular than magicians. It's because wrestlers have their own costumes, their own theme songs, their own sayings. They have all this stuff. Their own look and all that, and so they have fans who gravitate towards that. Magicians have none of that. Usually, they don't have a look. They don't have a costume. They definitely don't have their own songs. I mean, wrestlers don't have their own songs. Sometimes they do.
They do.
Sometimes they have their own songs made for them, but usually they use something else. But people attribute those songs to them, and if they change their song, they get really mad. And so it's kind of like that, and that's the thing. Is like I'm one of those people who tries to have a unique look and my own material things that because a friend of mine used to say you don't have to be the best they've ever seen, just the first, because then they're going to ultimately compare everybody else to you unless you suck.
Now, you left behind your comfort zone in Dallas.
Yeah.
You came out to Vegas. You started over. You've thrived out here.
More or less, yeah.
I would
Better than
definitely-
most. Better than most.
What would you say is something that because we've seen people who have not thrived. We've seen people who have withered up in this town very, very quickly.
Oh yeah.
What is something you would say that you've done that other people don't do that's gotten you?
Well, I came out here with material. I mean, I had stuff to do when I came out. I didn't come out here and think, oh, I'll create and get famous out here. I came out here with a whole like half hour of at least of silent material under my belt, which has evolved quite a bit over the last 5 years. But I came out here already. And also, I didn't come out here to be famous. I came out here to work. I just wanted to get on stage. So, my thing is, when you come out to a new place, you have to go out and be seen. To be seen, you have to be seen. So you have to go out and do stuff, perform. And I think I had a good jump start because of a guy named Jeff McBride. He had a venue where that was went on every weekend when I came out here at the time.
And it still somewhat exists the third Thursday of
right,
every
it's
month
once
with
a
the
month
Wonderground.
now. Yes, it's about once a month now. But at the time, it had just started a month before I moved out here. So for however many long months that was, I was there every weekend almost, performing, showing off what I did and who I was. So a lot of people around town got to see me really quickly and see that I was competent performer, but also knew what I was doing. And so that helped me, and I think that's a fluke, kind of. That's not going to happen all the time.
Well, I mean, definitely number one is if you're coming into a new area, be prepared. Make sure that you're.
Oh, I did, and I came out here early. I moved out here in October of 2008. I came out in April of 2008 to a magic convention we used to have out here and meet people. I came out and said, "Hey, how's it going? I'm going to move out here. I just want to meet people, so I don't move out here cold. Case the joint, as I called it." So if you ever decide to do something like that, you definitely want to come out and feel the vibe of the place, because this place felt more like where I was from than, say, Chicago, New York, or L.A. or anything like that.
But then not only did you come out here with prepared material, but two things that you were talking about that I've always jumped on is, one, you were willing to work. You were willing to go out there. You were willing to do the gigs.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, even you just said that the material you came here with evolved rapidly.
Well, it's because what worked in Texas – it just wasn't going to work here. It had to have a different feel to it and everything, because the nightclubs in Dallas are different from the nightclubs in Vegas, and all the venues here are a little more. It's a different way of thinking. So I realized some things were just not. The audience wasn't reacting to them the same way here. So I retooled a handful of things, and I dropped at least one thing because it just wasn't working for me.
And this is something that I learned when I moved from Detroit to New Orleans. Then actually when I moved back to Detroit, and when I was touring colleges, then touring corporate, then coming out here, is every situation, and this isn't even just the performing world, but really anything you do.
Right.
Every different environment has different rules behind it, different guidelines, different things you have to learn. I have watched people suffocate themselves because they went, well, my way's the only way.
Right.
They dug their heels in and refused to learn.
Well, yeah, no, that's because most people don't either want to evolve or be honest with themselves. That's a big problem with magicians especially, but I think in most people. But entertainers, they just don't have no interest in being honest with themselves. They don't they can't look at themselves in the mirror and go, well, I'm a fat guy. I think I'm going to try to be the next David Copperfield. Like, no, maybe you should be a comedy magician. That'd be good. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Well, as Emily told me last night, there's a sentence I'd actually never heard before, which was, never ask for criticism if what you want is praise.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And more people, I think, aim for praise without ever wanting to learn how can you be better tomorrow.
Well, it's similar to a phrase. That's, the one thing social media has done is it's helped throw around some really good quotes from time to time that I'm just kind of like, oh, that's true. And one of them I remember seeing on my Facebook that come across the feed was, most people listen with the intent of responding, not actually hearing, or something to that effect. It's like they're just waiting for you to shut up so they can talk about it and equate it to themselves. And yeah, that tends to happen a lot too.
Now, you stress a lot about being unique. You stress a lot about being creative. People come to you to help them conceptualize ideas.
Suckers.
Yep. But here's my question. So we have people out there who want to be creative. What is something that you would say that people could do in 10 minutes a day? If you were to tell them,
there's no formula.
No formula.
And there's nothing you can do 10 minutes a day. I mean, I don't feel there is anyway. You just have to. You just have to be open-minded to it, and it's more ways of thinking. There are no exercises for it. It's and I have a whole bullet point list of that kind of stuff. I even have I have free creativity notes. I tell people if you want them, email me. I will gladly send them to you.
And where do they email?
My website, SMAP. Let me give you the better opticalillusionist.com. That's the better. It's the easier one to
Yes,
spell.
yeah, that one I think
Yes.
listeners will actually find.
Yes.
Optical Illusionist.
Yes, the actual website is smapdoodah.com, but that's hard to spell. And I actually have considered, and I'm probably going to do it at some point, buying the website. My website is hardtospell.com just for fun.
Nice.
But I bought Optical Illusionist for situations like this when I can
Yes.
just go opticalillusionist.com, which is in the middle of being revamped. Actually,
nice.
I'll have to send you the new design. Anyway, so yes, but no, I can tell you things that will help. One of the big things is never think an idea is too stupid to try. The other one is if you have an idea, do it. Just make it right. Don't say, "Oh, I'll get around to it." Just make it. Even if you have to make a crappy version of it, do it now, just to see if it works, and then see. And if it doesn't work, see what else it can do. And I have for some reason I come up with a lot of ideas in the shower, and right as I'm going to sleep or right as I'm waking up, my brain will just work on things. And so I always tell people, pay attention to where you're creative. If you're in if you come up with new stuff or you get really inspired, I guess it's the wrong word, but it's the right word in this situation, in a certain area, pay attention to that, and don't go there to be creative. Just be open-minded to the fact that that's a safe zone for you to go and think up ideas. So you don't have to. Some people try to force creativity. You can't force it. It just has to come to you. So I always carry a note. I always carry a pen with me, and I have nowadays. I used to carry scraps of paper, but now we all have iDevices and tablets and blah, blah, blah. Everybody's phone, including my crappy flip phone, has a notepad.
Right.
So make notes when you come up with stuff, because ultimately you're going to forget it. I know guys who keep notepads and pens by the bed. If they have weird dreams or ideas, they wake up, write it down, go back to sleep.
And so even that, just continually taking those notes can, and there's a big truth to that. Sometimes the difference between a horrible idea and the next big thing is just taking that first step and doing it.
Right.
Because if you keep waiting until it's perfect, you're never gonna make it.
And don't be lazy. That's a big one. Don't be lazy. Just do it.
Well, we're going to go to a commercial break. We're going to have William Arendell on with us in just a moment. And ladies and gentlemen, please go to opticalillusionist.com for more on Bizzaro.
Yes.
Hey, it's Roxy from the 702 Rock Show, right here at VegasAllNetRadio.com. Listen to my show every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. to hear about local artists, musicians, fashion designers, and more, right here in Las Vegas. So tune in every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. to hear me, Michelle Roxy Davis, right here at VANR on the 702 Rock Show.
Unleashed, free from negativity. Learn about local events that are happening, hear interviews with local celebrities, as well as how people have accomplished their dreams and have left behind negative behavior to live the life they want to live. Every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m., join me and therapist William Arendell for an hour of Living Unleashed. Hello, Las Vegas from Hypnosis Unleashed. All Las Vegas locals get half off every night at the show, Tuesday through Sunday, 8 p.m. Come and join us for Las Vegas's wildest hypnosis show. Watch your friends get turned into rock stars, watch them do the craziest things, or come and be hypnotized yourself. This show has won all the awards here in Las Vegas, and we want to show you why. Come join us every Tuesday through Sunday night. VegasHypnosisShow.com for more details. That's VegasHypnosisShow.com.
Monday Mayhem is back at Gene Woods Racing Experience Go-Kart Track. The stakes are higher than ever, and the winner takes all if you've got what it takes. The winner will get to race a real Thunder Roadster at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in an actual race. So be there every Monday. First race starts at 7. Come early to register. We are located at 121 East Sunset Road at the Sports Center, across from McCarran Airport. For more information, call us at 702-270-8100. That's 702-270-8100. You can visit us on Facebook, or you can go to our website at racingexperiencelv.com. Once you race here, you won't go anywhere else. Monday Mayhem is back.
Thank you so much for joining us here at Live Unleashed. We still have Bizzaro with us hanging out in the studio, but now we're going to bring on my co-anchor for the second half of the show. He is not only a licensed social worker, a hypnotherapist, an amazing therapist, family therapist, addiction recovery expert. He also happens to be one of my best friends for many, many years. Please welcome my co-host, William Arendell.
Hey, it's great to be here. It's great to be here. That was a great interview with Bizzaro. He had a lot of great things to say. It's good to be here with y'all.
Yeah, he's actually still sitting here at the studio, and he's probably going to write really disgusting notes about you, and we're going to make fun of you a little bit, but we'll try not to make it too bad.
Awesome. You know, one thing I want to comment on is Bizzaro gave one piece of really great advice, which is the do it now thing. If you have an idea, so many people sometimes wait so long, and I just wanted to comment on him saying that, which is great advice.
Well, I mean, all right, so besides therapy, you've also played music for many years, and you've done different performing as well. I mean, I off the top of my head, I can think of at least a half a dozen people. I'm sure Bizzaro can. I'm sure you can. Just think of people who had that great idea, but never took that first step to do anything with it. And then 2 years later, they're complaining that somebody else took their idea that they never did anything with.
Oh, yeah, I hear that so often. You know, one idea that I had back in 1992, 93, I said, you know, internet gambling is the way to go. Of course, I never wanted to run an internet gambling thing, but had I taken it up, and I think everybody has great ideas. You know, and everybody has ideas that they could bring somewhere. But it is that just getting started point, and a lot of people come up with lots of good reasons why they don't get started. And I think some of it has to do with fear of success. But we make up rules all the time in our heads about why we can't do things, and sometimes, you know, we don't even know where those rules come from. You know, we sometimes get them from our parents, we sometimes get them from society at large, and we get stuck in them. You know, the people who tend to do things are the people who just tend to get out and do it. And I think one thing that Bizzaro said is, even if you don't make a good one, even if you just make, you know, a bad version of whatever you're going to do, that's what's going to start. You know, that's why musicians have things called demos. They're bad versions of the music. Most people I know that have started
better than the actual studio ones, though. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, I mean, we can also take that to the personal level and say, if you just go to the gym every other day for those first couple of weeks, even if you're not doing a great job in there, the fact that you're going there and doing it, the fact that you're making those first couple of steps. Or if you're that person who comes up with that idea and you go to your boss and you actually, you know, go to your boss and go, look, I have this thought, I have this plan. Can we implement it? Just taking that first step anywhere.
Sometimes it's a really hard first step. especially if it's something. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So sometimes it's really like, you know, if you have an idea for a product or you have an idea for something that you think, this company would like this, and you try to get a hold of that company or other people, and nobody returns your calls or information, but you know this is a great idea. Sometimes that's like out of your control, but it's frustrating and it makes you want to give up.
Yeah, I've got a theory about going to the gym, and I think it applies to a lot of other things, in that every minute you wait to go to the gym adds a 20% chance that you won't go.
Oh, then I'm at 800%.
Yeah. You know, after 5 minutes, you're not going. If you're wondering if I should go to the gym for 5 minutes, you're probably not going to go. And if you get up right away, you probably will go. And I think that is with those ideas. And I think one of the ways to get with the ideas, we have these visions, and that vision is you know, usually our first dream is beyond our ability to get to, and that's why Kevin has those short, medium, and long-term goals. And I think, you know, you got to ask yourself the question, you know, even if I build a bad version of this, will it be better if I didn't build one at all? You know,
right? And sometimes something I've said a lot is sometimes a temporary fix becomes a permanent solution.
Yeah, totally.
And no matter how bad you think that idea is, it can grow into something wonderful.
Yeah.
And if you think that your idea is too ridiculous to mention, if you think your idea is too stupid to bring to other people, if you think that your idea is just too dumb to put out there to make happen, I'm just going to bring up the pet rock and the Snuggie.
Or look at YouTube.
Yeah.
Period. No, I think another factor in that is patience. A lot of people, if you fail, people give up after the first try, and a lot of people don't have the patience to stick with it. And that's one big thing. It's like even you learn more from. And everybody's heard this. You learn more from failure than you do from success. So keep screwing up until something works, and even still keep working on it.
Well, with the Wright brothers, it would have been easier and faster than to walk across that field than to fly their first airplane across it. And now years later, we have something. And now years later, we have this thing that we use, that flies across oceans. But that first one was going nowhere fast.
Yeah, but you have to start somewhere.
You do, and I agree with that. Just getting started, and whether that's you want to go to yoga and you don't know which yoga class to go to, just go to one. If you want to go to the gym, just go to one. You'll figure it out.
Nike, just do it.
Now I'm actually going to go back to you on this one, Will, and I'm going to go back to you're in college and you're working menial jobs and you put yourself through college, and you had the options to do a bunch of easier things. But what was it that made you go, I'm going to take this step. I'm going to go for it, because my goal, my dream is to be this therapist, to do this, to be able to help people in this respect, which you've become very successful at. But what was it that made you take that first step and stick to it?
Well, I didn't want to make nachos anymore. That had a lot to do with it.
Except for yourself.
Yeah,
he won't even make them for himself anymore.
I have a guy who does that for me now.
Sometimes that's the moment that gets me through. And no offense to anyone who's out there making nachos. I love working in kitchens in a way, but it's sometimes what gets me through the days today. It reminds me that I enjoy what I do. It was, there was a moment actually where I didn't think I could do what I'm doing now. And it was a moment I was sitting there with one of my professors, and they said, well, why don't you go into the psych field? And I said, well, I don't want to make, $8 an hour. I just kind of don't. And she looked at me and she said, that won't be you. You're not going to be that person. And I just, I think I just needed that one person to start to believe in me. And then I started to believe in myself. And at that point, I was going for a business degree because I come from a kind of poor background, and I was going for a business degree. And I just wanted to have a house, a family, but I knew that I would be kind of miserable, and I knew that this is kind of in that, and this is what I kind of wanted to do. And that caused me to kind of get a spark. And to really start to want to do it and really think that I could do it. And I got that belief, I didn't believe in myself quite yet, but I was working on it. And, within the next couple of years, I found myself in places that I would have never found just because I took chances. I switched schools. I got into a better program. But it's one of them was making nachos, and the other one was just somebody believing in me.
And, I talked a little bit about that with Bizzaro, and we're going to talk about this time and time again, too, is sometimes it is those people you network with, those people you hang around with. As much of a cliche as, we've always heard it from our parents of, you are the people you hang out with.
I don't agree with that at all.
Well,
I hang out with some scummy people, and I'm not a scummy person.
Well, we'll deal with your intervention later, Biz.
Right.
No, but there is a truth to be said that the people that you hang out with the most are what you're going to end up being like in a lot of ways. And when you're around those people who believe in you and who want to build you up, you're going to find yourself in more of those situations. You know, Lord knows I didn't get where I am by myself. There are many times, you know, and I'm sure we're going to tell these stories throughout the months and the years about all the times, Will, that you, Don, and all the other people had to kind of prop me up and help me move forward when I couldn't do it anymore. You know, I remember a conversation I had with you. You were barely a year away from your master's, and you were burnt out and you were tired, and your idea was to just take one semester off and then you'd get back to it. And I believe my response was, yeah, go for it. Chili's is still hiring. And you were immediately re-enrolled.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like something Kevin would say. I haven't known him as long as you have, but that sounds absolutely probable.
You know, and
it was par for the course, yeah.
And it's just, you know, I think we all need those moments, but as much as having people supporting you, and as much as you need people who believe in your dreams, and it's funny because, you know, the three of us talking, I know all three of us have had a moment where we have run into somebody we looked up to at one point become friends of ours.
Well, and let me tell the rest of that story, if I could, for just a second, because that story about me taking the semester off has a very interesting context. And that's that the context of that story took place is that I had coming home for Christmas, and my brother got in a car accident, and we ended up pulling the plug on him. And we had just pulled we pulled all his stuff out of his house into storage, and this was all on my Christmas break from school. And it was kind of at the end of that break when I was about to go back, and I was thinking I was going to take a semester off. And I think we all have those moments where we're hit and we're down and we're not sure we could do it. And, you know, that's exactly what you said. You could go back to Chili's, and I thought, I'm okay, I'm going.
But sometimes you do have to reach out to other people for that motivation.
Yeah, and when I got back to school, I reached out to other people in my program and said, hey, look, you know, this is what's going on with me. And I think this is one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle. It is, no one does this alone. And whether it's a friend or a priest or a rabbi or a therapist or whatever, there are people in people's lives that help along.
There's a huge truth to that. We are nearing the wrap up of our first episode, I guess, is what it would be called.
Yeah.
Yep. And Will is going to be joining us weekly. He's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, and we are going to, on a week by week, we're going to have different people, and I really appreciate you coming in, Bizzaro. Thank you so much.
No problem.
For
sorry, I was
us.
a little bit late just because, you know, traffic and Google.
It's Vegas. That happens. Opticalillusionist.com.
Yep. Go check it out. And if you're in Vegas, hit me up and maybe see if we're doing a show.
And you're all, besides just Meatloaf, also if you happen to be here the third Thursday, you're usually part of Wonderground.
This Thursday.
Okay.
I'll be performing this Thursday if anybody listening in town wants to come out and check it out. It's a magic nightclub. It's a good time.
And you can check out information about Hypnosis Unleashed at VegasHypnosisShow.com. That's VegasHypnosisShow.com. Feel free to email me, Kevin Lepine, anytime at info@VegasHypnosisShow.com. I look forward to talking with you next week. Very soon we'll also be able to take callers and share some of your experiences. Sleep well and live unleashed.